Hello, good evening and welcome to round 3 of the Slip and Grip GT3 Sprint Series. This evening coming to you quicker than the words that I can speak. This week coming to you from the Nurburgring, a rather soggy Nurburgring. So we have got 13 minutes left of the 15-minute qualifying session. So a fast and frantic session to establish the starting positions for all of the gravel. All 3 races this evening. Oh, just hit the delete button on that slide, hang on. There you go, there's the leaderboard. Right then, who is in the chat this evening? I know HUD off the screen. Question mark. I don't know the question you're asking, Andrew. Right, so let's bin off the music. A rather janky start this evening, I apologise. Hopefully I improve the stream throughout the evening. Right then, so on the track map can we establish, I think, the 75 car. I think Gapper is our sideways driver. You saw him flicking through the screen there. It looks like set 2 will be our camera set of choice this evening. Gapper appears to have changed liveries again, but I don't have his update. I think he's in a new car. I think Gapper changed car. I know Dave Rose is meant to be sitting out qualifying as well. Oh, could hear frantic setting changes. Yeah, I was removing the triples because I've been driving a bit more recently as Gapper over-rotates through the right-hand kink and takes out the brake marker boards for good measure, so they are now no longer available. So he resets, and the Noobs Are Us driver rejoins the session. So 77 crosses the line. That's going to be Harrison Fulton in the 17 car going ahead of Matt Davies. Joe Challoner also on a flyer there. Yes, so Dave has a quali ban as an outcome of the stewarding for last week, so he will he might just be circulating but making sure he doesn't set a time. Alex McGee to the top. We know the Porsche runs well. We should have seen this one coming. So the extra mass over the rear grip given the Porsche. Half a second clear at the top at the moment. Who do we expect to do well? Tom Lyons should be on a good one. However, for some reason he's on an 8 minute and 10 lap, so not sure what Tom's done there. Max Tad across the line, but he's invalidated his last lap time. Also got the tip that McLarens do well. Peter Williamson in the McLaren. Just jump to camera set 2, otherwise we won't have a chance of seeing what's going on. So Peter, 0.4 up already as he's getting the tyres into the operating window. A little clip of the curb on the way through. The car won't really enjoy that one. McGee doesn't look like he's improving, but Joe Challoner does. Let's see how Joe's getting on. Heads out onto what we will refer to as the back straight. So through the right hand kink we go. Oh, off the power, off the track, manages to hold on to it. Craggle in the chat, watching, listening as I drive the 3 hours back to Hampshire. Best of luck all drivers, especially Harrison. Keep me updated. Not a problem, Craig. I will try and turn it into a radio broadcast for you. Not a problem. Joe Challoner out of the last turn, up on his time as an improvement. Would have been challenging for the lead, but we did see him run wide. So he does indeed cross the line with an invalid time. Harrison still holding on for third, his second flyer, not an improvement. Nat Shirley going well, he's in the last turn. 3 seconds up on Delta. This is looking like a blistering time from the Aston Martin driver as he crosses the line. And I'm not... Yeah, there we go, it has updated. That took a moment. Sorry. Thought I read that as 8th. But yes, Nat Shirley to the top of the times now. 2:08.6. Half a second clear of Alex, which means he's 1.1 ahead of Joe. Blistering time there. Pete Williamson down across the line. He was 1.9 behind. No, he still is 1.9 behind. Apologies. I just missed it as he crossed the line. Matt Davies looking to improve. He's just heading down to the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit. Yellow flags are out. Matt skirting around the outside of the circuit. A wet line being applied. The rain is set to reduce, but the session will not run long enough for that to take effect. Up the hill we go. Looking like a 2-second improvement. So Sam Waldridge kind of level, who is now running in 5th. So of the 19 drivers, only 10 have valid laps on the board, and we are just coming up to 9 minutes into this session. So those that can set times are doing well. Josh Redhead up to 8th, our lead AM driver so far, 2.5 seconds off the pace of Nat Shirley down the front. Matt Davies a little deep into the first part of the chicane, now heading into the final hairpin. Keeps it nice and tidy around the inside. You hear him bring in the power. Out onto the curb. Delta's looking good. 9th up to 2nd. He jumps ahead of Alex McGee by less than a 10th. It's looking like 300ths of a second. Or 200ths of a second. Nat Shirley still out front. Matt Davies has actually... He nearly found half a second in the first turn, so could be on to improve. McGee out of the final turn, not looking like an improvement. He'll just keep circulating, see if he can find that operating window again. Challoner on a out lap. Sam Waldridge now heading on to the back straight. The second of the 2 or 3 Mercedes we have in this session, currently 6th, looking like he's found a second, so he could challenge McGee if he keeps finding time like he has done this far. Tidy through the chicane, not too wide on the exit. Harrison improving, not improving. It's Max Tad that's improved up to 4th. Sam Waldritz from 7th to 3rd. You've now got 3 drivers within a second of each other for that. 2nd, 3rd and 4th. They're all within a 10th, sorry. So really close there. Sam Waldridge now back to pits. Harrison not looking like he's improving at the moment. He is currently on an outlap with 4 minutes and 26 left to go, so hopefully get some running in there. Josh Redhead looks like he's improving as well. He does just jump ahead of Phil Mitchell. Phil Mitchell currently 2.4 off the lead. Then you've got Ogra, who is in the pits, 3.2 back. He's just coming out. Jurovic, as we had an improvement there. Ant Brown, sorry. Ant Brown to second. Andy's tip of the McLaren going well. These guys only just braking within the half second of Nat Shirley in the Aston Martin, so he's doing really well. The only Aston Martin on the grid at the moment. Nat Shirley absolutely flying. Max Tad looking like he's improving. He did look like he ran wide there. The camera, yeah, just catching him running off the circuit there, so I thought his delta had gone very, very green, and it had because he didn't brake. So Max out onto the back straight. Tom Lyons to the top of the field. We said the Porsche was good. He's done one valid flyer, and the Apple liveried Porsche goes 1.75. No, 0.175 ahead of Nat Shirley, who is looking green on Delta but not currently on a valid lap. So Tom will be very happy with that. The track progressing, and Tom with a single flyer straight to the top of the times. That's really, really impressive. Ant Brown currently looking like he's a second up. So we'll just go on board with Ant for a moment. Oh, as the 21 car in front of him loops out, that was Ogra, who's now back to the pits. Visibility hampered by the weather. If you are one of the 3 people watching and you're not driving, if you can hit the thumbs up button, that does us a favour. So if you could, that would be fantastic. If you are watching this back and you're bothering to watch qualifying and not just skipping to the race to watch yourself go round, please do smash the thumbs up button. As many likes as we can on these videos so people stumble across them. Joe Challoner, as I'm waffling rubbish. Ant Brown there to the top of the time. So it's now Ant Brown leads Joe Challoner. Tom Lyons back down to third. Nat Shirley, who did improve. The current lap time was looking... I'm not getting a reset on my times. So Nat Shirley improves, but only enough for second. So a minute and a half to go. Ant Brown tops the times from Nat Shirley and Joe Challoner. Tom Lyons, who gapped at the top of the field, suddenly is 0.885 back in fourth. Matt Davies then another 0.8 back. He's 1.6 off the leader, as is Sam Waldridge and Alex McGee. So it's all changed within that top 7 as Lyons and Challoner both go across the line. It's Alex McGee jumped up to 5th was the change that we saw. Sorry, Joe remaining where he was as far as that time's concerned. Joe's messed up the chicane, so no improvement there. Glad to see that everyone that is allowed to set a time has set a time. Aaron Sterrett not able to find the pace. He's 7.8 off, but relatively new to sim racing from my understanding, so the wet conditions proving ever difficult. Jurovic out there as well, improving in his Porsche. Now it says that Matt's current lap is a 5-minute 53. So I've been calling those as out laps, but it would appear that's not the case, and people are actually on flyers and improving. So apologies that I'm not seeing the lap times quite as they're happening, as the timer hits 0 and Sam Waldridge improves up to 5th. First of the cars to take the line. Ant Brown won't be improving his time because he's back to pits. Nat Shirley currently looks like he's down on Delta, but Matt Davies looks like he could find 1.1. Shirley takes the flag, so that's second place for him, is the best he will have. Matt Davies now across the line, up to third, demotes Tom Lyons. Joe Challoner looks like he's got a couple of tenths within his lap time, so we'll stick with Joe for a moment. 15th down, all in the pits. Phil Mitchell in 11th. Max Tad starting 12th as a pro driver. We saw him with his little off-track excursion, so Max will not be happy, but we will keep an eye on him coming through the field. Joe finding a little bit of time. Gapper takes the flag. Didn't improve on his last. He'll be starting 10th as it stands for now. It's only Josh Redhead and Joe Challoner who remain on circuit. Joe neutral with his Delta. Josh looks like he's going to be improving. Let's just stick with Joe for a moment. A little deep through the first. Lumps it over the curb but slides and maintains a bit of speed on the exit. A little down on Delta, so it might take a good run out the final turn. Or not. Just park it. Why not? Josh Redhead now, the only driver left on circuit. 0.9 improvement coming his way if he carries on. So can he start higher than 14th? Can he keep it valid? It's valid because the session's not rolled over. Out of the final turn in 14th. Crosses the line to become 10th. God, it's dark.
Watch out for curbs and exit, and remember to brake early.
So the wet conditions continue. The in-game time, 8 PM. Oh. So as the drivers prepare, the cars jump up on the I was going to say axle stands. It's not axle stands. Air jacks. The cars jump up onto the air jacks. Current rain conditions. Apologies for the wobble. That was the car coming off the jacks. So the weather conditions currently wet and maintaining this level for the next 20 minutes. The Nurburgring and its classic weather providing some entertainment for us this evening. If you are in the chat, don't forget, have a shout about who you want to watch as the evening progresses. If you spot a gap closing, give me a shout. If you want an update on a driver, parked safely in a services, Craig, do not text whilst you drive. So there is your grid for this evening. Good mix of badges. Actually, only one Ferrari. One Ferrari, a good handful of McLarens. 5 McLarens for you there. Should be an entertaining one. Porsches to make progress, asked Sandy. Yeah, Tom Lyons was very quick out of the box. Very, very quick out of the box. So we shall see how Tom Lyons gets on. Alex McGee also quick. Jurovic. He will be trying to make progress further back in the field as all the cars drop down once again. Yeah, good exit speed. They'll be able to use that offset, certainly. Right then, it's the short formation. So if we jump into... Where's my helicopter? There's my helicopter. So, Gapper from the back. Helicopter poised. Let's focus on Tom Lyons for the start. That 4th place car giving us a good view of what's going on ahead. when a car barrels into turn 1. We'll see who it hits. Ever the optimist. Right, the cars form up, headlights ablaze out of the final turn. It's wet conditions at the Nurburgring for race 1. We wait for the call from race control.
Green light, give it okay.
There's the call. It's a good start from the Porsche. He's trying to move across, but the Mercedes is in the way. He goes for a second move, looks to the outside of the Nat Shirley Aston Martin. It's Tom Lyons down the outside. Can he hang it all the way round the outside and potentially look towards Ant Brown? It goes 3 wide just. Matt Davies nibbles as Nat Shirley has to move across. Matt Davies now falling behind Sam Waldridge. The Mercedes trying not to trip over each other. Matt Davies now with his nose down the inside. Brakes later, but Sam Waldridge trying to keep that nose ahead seems to, not quite worked. Matt Davies then heads away for that 4th position. Tom Lyons up 2 positions from his 4th place starting, and he's now heading after Ant Brown as we fall away down the hill. Your lead driver now under pressure. It's Tom Lyons with a good exit there. Let's watch him down the hill. These cars having to contend with a lot more spray than you can see on the stream. That doesn't seem to go across well. Gaps all within a second so far until you get down to Max Tad. He's already up to 13th. Dave Rose from the back, now running in 12th. The BMW doing well in the early stages, appearing to have kept it clean. A couple of incidents logged on there, but we'll run with it for now. Looking for another place. Dave Rose looks to have been practicing in the wet. He's got some confidence for someone that's had a qualifying ban, and that's him through up to what I believe is 11th. Max Tad eager to go with Dave, just showing his nose maybe where he shouldn't have. Phil Mitchell looking to attack in the other of those BMWs. Max just adjusting his headlights by the looks of things there as we run down into the chicane. Dave's already making mighty progress further forwards. Defensive there from Josh Redhead. Max is going to look for the cutback. And it's held on against Tom, Nat Shirley and Matt Davies out front. They all come across the line. Tom Lyons with the fastest lap. Not surprised having seen that progress. Max to the inside now. He's had a good run down the straight. Can he get it stopped for the hairpin? Josh turns in. There was a car there. And now that's going to put Josh under pressure from Phil Mitchell as it logs an incident. Phil looking the long way round the wet line. As we've got a slow McLaren there. It's Pete Williamson. He might just be recovering. Looks like he's trying to keep out of the way. Not sure what's happened there. So back at the front, it is Ant Brown holding on against Tom Lyons. Tom's just dancing in his mirror, just probably trying to distract him a bit. They are breaking away slightly from Nat Shirley in 3rd. Nat Shirley just drops outside the 2nd mark. Well, the gap from Ant Brown to Tom Lyons, 0.3 as you can see there. So they are breaking away. Tom just needs to be patient here. Matt Davies not looking like he can attack Nat at this stage, but he's got Sam Waldridge for company. Then a little gap back to Harrison, who has got Joe Challoner in the mirrors. These two have come across each other before. Joe looks to the outside. He's had a good run out of the Schumacher S's. He looks to hang it all the way around the outside, which he's able to do so, carry more speed, and cuts Harrison's nose off, ready for the right-hander down the back straight. So that's Joe up a position, Harrison down to 7th. It's then Ethan Craddock with a bit of breathing room from Alex McGee and the recovering Dave Rose, now up to 10th. Max Tad's got through on Pete Williamson and has managed to pull away by quite a significant gap. Not sure. Peter has lost another 2 places, so Peter not happy at the moment. Not sure what's happened with that car. He's then run deep at the chicane. It's compromised his line in and out of the 2nd part. Heads into the hairpin, but that field just splitting up a little bit. It's then Gabriel Ogra in 15th. Zoltkis out of the hairpin just behind him in the Audi. Aaron Sterrett in 17th. Then it's Igor Jurovic and then Alexio Gappa across the line to round out your field so far. Now across the line, Nat Shirley was only 0.4 off the back of Tom Lyons, which I don't know if Ant Brown is backing Tom up slightly or if Nat just had an absolute flyer through that last sector. But the top three definitely breaking away from Matt Davies in fourth as it stands at this moment. Tom not quite able to put a move on Ant at the moment. It's getting darker still. The track identifies as wet, and this looks like it's going to maintain. Sam now putting the pressure on Matt Davies, so he's right with him. 2 Mercedes. Levels the playing field when you're battling a car that's very, very similar. Sam probably quite conscious not to battle too hard with Matt because they have got Joe Challoner closing in behind. Matt doesn't want to have to drive defensively. Down into the chicane we go. That top three seem to be concertinaing up. Then it's 4th, 5th and 6th. The next battle. Harrison now has Ethan Craddock and Alex McGee to the inside of Ethan Craddock. This is Harrison's opportunity to run away. The Porsche with the better exit that was being discussed earlier. Less than a 10th, but the McLaren seems to have a greater top speed. I don't know if Alex is running quite high wing on the Porsche. It would seem that way, so Ethan holds on. It's then Dave Rose coming through right with Alex. He's not going to know whether to attack or defend. A move behind Josh Redhead now under pressure. Oh, under that much pressure he's dropped it on the grass. So the AstroTurf just over the exit curb, not providing the traction Josh needed, and he goes round and loses a handful of places. He's still under pressure. Dave Rose going to be conscious of Max. Max hasn't got his rain light on. Somebody give that man a penalty. Flashing rain lights on the cars ahead. Through the Schumacher S's. Using the curb to rotate the car in. Obviously still proving effective even in this wet conditions. Dave later on the brakes closes in massively. Alex still turns in. It's not frightened out of the way. Dave probably held his breath though. Really good battle between these 4 cars. Ethan coping under the pressure. The top 3 still running together, but it's Matt Davies dropping now. You might think that's going to be 4 seconds back by the time he crosses the line. So the leaders are through. It's 3.8 still for Matt. Nat Shirley looked like he was all over the back of Tom Lyons. Yeah, he's not managed to do anything down into turn 1. Then you've got Matt Davies who just runs wide on exit. Joe Challoner, a big kick of oversteer. So Joe is up past Sam Waldridge. Sam had a slower last lap. And he has fallen behind Joe Challoner, so apologies, I've just missed that. McGee's looking to the inside of Ethan. Ethan hangs it around the inside, just behind Dave Rose and Max Tad getting side by side. Max off the circuit. So that's just separated them. Dave's not acting fast enough. He needs to get forwards, get moving. Max is getting impatient. You can see Alex there. I'm going to say trying alternative lines. He didn't run wide. He didn't outbrake himself. He's trying alternative lines. Max Tad look all over the back of Dave Rose. He's going to have to be patient here. Then got this gap back to Peter Williamson. who is 8 seconds back, but then he's got Phil Mitchell 0.2 off of his bumper, so those two having a nice little battle separately there. Harrison with some breathing room in 7th. Sam Aldridge, he's 1.2 ahead, but Ethan Craddock, who is appearing to be the cork in the bottle as we hit the halfway stage, is holding off the pressure for Harrison. He's keeping a nice gap back, so Harrison just running his own race at the moment. Matt Davies with Joe Challoner for company. These two, week after week, finding each other on track. Matt running to the inside of the circuit, just breaking away from Joe, not letting him have the toe as they head down the straight. Don't think Joe's too fussed though about that slipstream. This little group of 4, 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th as we throw a yellow flag. That's the 75 car just down by the chicane, so that's Gapper having an issue. Don't worry that he went through the last split with Jurovic 0.000 apart, so they were together. Gapper is parked, so hopefully that doesn't present an issue when we get round to that part of the circuit. Ant Brown, then your leader. He's now got 1.7 back to Tom Lyons, who has got Nat Shirley right with him. For 3rd place, Nat carrying more speed up through the Schumacher S's. Can he convert this run? Tom Lyons a little bit of a dance into the braking zone. I won't accuse him of weaving, but if there's a ticket for weaving, I won't be surprised. So dancing into the braking zone goes Tom Lyons. I'm sure it's just the wet weather conditions. Matt's now feeling the pressure from Joe. Joe holding a tighter line. If there was ever going to be a dive, you'd have got a feeling that was going to be it. Gapper still parked on the insides of the chicane. Not really sure why that would be the case. You see the cars stream through in the background. The lower part of the field quite drawn out now. Gapper has indeed left the server. I did worry that going a lap down there he was going to make a questionable rejoin, but how wrong of me. So your leader there, Ant Brown, 7 minutes to go. Nice gap back to Nat Shirley, who has he passed Tom Lyons? Have I fallen asleep? He has. Apologies, I missed that move. So Nat Shirley back past Tom Lyons. Then it's Matt Davies now, who has Joe Challoner right with him. It's going to be a mighty close gap between these two. Joe darts towards the inside. Matt with a more conventional, smoother line in there. Joe was 0.2. This is allowing Sam Aldridge to come back at them. Just conscious that we've got the other battle going on down in 9th. Joe with a good run up the hill. Matt's going to defend the inside. He's not defended the inside. Joe switches sides, puts the nose towards the inside of the turn. Matt brakes later, able to carry more speed, sweeping into the turn. Down the back straight we go. Joe with another good run. It feels like it's only a matter of time. Down towards the chicane. On the brakes, the Lamborghini closes up on the Mercedes. They both jump over the curb. Sam Aldridge just behind with what looks to be a safer line. Max Tad has dropped 2.3 off of Dave Rose. So the battle of 3 has become a 4 has become a battle of 3. Not sure what's happened there for Max. He's out the final turn there. Alex McGee not been able to make this move on Ethan Craddock. The McLaren proving too difficult to pass thus far. Olgra's still in 14th. Josh Redhead after the earlier spin in 15th. Kiss in 16th. Aaron Sterrett in 17th. And Jurovic for 18th. Tom Lyons holding pace for third at the moment. Nice big gap back to Matt Davies, who, just in case you were wondering, still under pressure from Joe Challoner. 4.5 minutes remain. Joe's brake too late. He's taken out Matt. It had the feeling of it's going to boil over soon. And it has. Watch the rejoin, Matt. There he is, past the 35 car of Max Tad, and that was Joe waiting for him on the circuit. So here is Joe coming down the hill. And, oh, he's still on the power, very, very late there. That'll be an interesting one for the stewards and the throttle trays. Waiting on the corner exit, you've seen your Dave Rose battle go through there. So Matt Davies there, 9th, and Joe now 10th. It reached boiling point. That promotes some of these guys up. So Tom Lyons. Oh! Sam Waldridge has disconnected. Sam Waldridge disconnects. So it's now Ant Brown leading Nat Shirley and Tom Lyons. Your top three remains unchanged. It's now Harrison Fulton, who cannot believe his luck, now up to 4th. Just seeing Gapper's messages. That's unfortunate. If you feel that something is wrong, do raise a ticket. We can advise the other person and adjust some points, apply penalties. Not sure what the yellow flag was for there. I just missed it. So, yeah, Harrison up to 4th with a fair bit of breathing room. So he's going to be really happy with that result. It's then Ethan Craddock who, even with the chaos ahead of him, has still managed to hold off Alex McGee. Alex, they're really closing up. Then the red, yeah, Gapper, we do run, even though people have got different classes, they may be in the wrong class for their pace, or they are battling for the overall points, because we do run an overall championship. So it's not the case that red drivers should just move out of your way because you're in a faster class. You do have to battle them. But like I say, if you do feel aggrieved by any of it, please do open a ticket. We can review the incidents. There we go then, so we are on to the final lap. Ant Brown leading the way, Nat Shirley with that 2nd place. Tom Lyons just dropping back slightly, but he will be very happy with 3rd place. He'll know the strengths of the car now and be able to make those good moves early on. Up the field once more. Then Harrison, I want to say inheriting 4th place, but holding on for a 4th place, not getting caught in any of the earlier skirmishes. Ethan Craddock, a fantastic drive, not giving in. We've then got, I've just clicked it, Joe Challoner with the front end damage is falling back. Phil Mitchell just getting past him within this last lap. the front open on the Lamborghini. That wasn't Joe flashing the lights there, that was the damage causing the lights to flash. I know that's unlike Joe, but that was a flash that he didn't want. Just the back straight and the chicane to go. McGee desperate to get past Ethan, but not making any rash moves. It's good that these three have been able to run so close for so long. Through the right-hand kink, but where is Ant? There you go. Ant out the final turn. Nat's got onto terms with him, but it is too little, too late. Ant Brown wins from Nat Shirley. Then it's Tom Lyons across the line for third place. Harrison Fulton, a well-deserved fourth place there. Ethan Craddock, equally as well-deserved. We've lost a driver in the last turn. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, a gentle nudge for Dave Rose there. Matt Davies for 8th. McGee 9th. Yeah, what happened to McGee? Let's go back. McGee's looped it in the... I don't know if he was pushed. It's McGee that's dropped down across the line. Oh no, it's all gone wrong for McGee out the final turn. And I don't get to do the replay. That's a shame. Oh, the track is flooded. If any of the drivers are listening to this, make sure you've noticed the track is flooded. Sam Waldridge, PC, gave up. Sorry if I hit anyone. No, you floated off into oblivion by yourself. Gapper is dropping out. See you next season, maybe. Hopefully you come back, Gapper, but please do raise a ticket if there's something we can look at for you. I heard thunder. I hear more thunder. And a very strong race for you there, leading from the very start. Some pressure from Tom Lyons, but the track's now flooded. What does that mean?
Means I better get my motorboat out.
And
I don't know how well this is going to handle.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. And the first 10 minutes of this intense rain, I guess that is a thunderstorm, isn't it?
Yep, it's absolutely chucking it down. Fun times. It's going to be interesting for sure. No one knows what to do with tyres, pressures. Obviously no one's going to be running slicks, but do the pressures go up? Do they go down? It's warmer, but it's wetter. Who knows? So, yeah, it should be interesting. I'm most scared of Nat Shirley, if I had to be scared of someone. He was looking very quick at the end.
Right with you by the end.
Yeah.
I know you'd done the work you needed to, but yeah, certainly right on your bumper across the line. Tom Lyons also a cracking start last time.
Yeah, what a start! Like, and the pace as well. Absolute weapon. Yeah, it's really good.
He was tipped to do well in the Porsche by Andy in the chat, and certainly made moves forward to come in for a podium. Joe and Matt, I mean, it's a match made in heaven, isn't it?
Yeah, as always. You can't separate them, joined at the hip.
Certainly not, and Dave Rose has got to do it all again from the back. Sam Waldridge back in after a disconnect.
Yes. Where is Sam? There he is.
Back
right.
of the grid though.
18th. Yeah, and we had a dropout.
Gapper, yes.
Yes. I don't think he was particularly happy, but I don't know what for.
Lower classes fighting him. but peasants
But isn't
will do that.
Isn't it a motor race?
We went motor racing, Ant. We went motor
Yep.
racing. Right,
We did.
10 seconds till the start of the session. Have a good one.
Thank you. Ciao.
I never actually said well done to Ant, so well done, Ant, on the first win of the evening. Right then, shall we? So I think a good bet was the Tom. Oh my God, that is flooded. Where's the are we allowed a helicopter in this weather? I don't know. We've got cars off in the background. Djurovic not on the circuit. If that's a sign of things to come. Let's see if anyone can get a strike at turn 1. So as the cars grid up 2 by 2, we leave the final turn, head towards the start-finish line. We await the call, and there it is. So Tom Lyons with an okay start, not really got any way to go. He's going to look for that gap in the middle, but it's Nat Shirley around the outside of Ant Brown. Ant has braked. The guys all concertina up behind Harrison. Very lucky, making it 3 wide. Ethan Craddock's on the outside. It's going to come the inside. Ethan taps the Porsche of Alex McGee, who just runs into Harrison, who drops down those 2 places that he looked like he'd gained. It all concertinas up again. Tom Lyons into the back of Challoner. And then it's Alex McGee into the back of those guys as they've gone round. So the chaos that was expected has happened. Harrison also caught up in that mess, so he's back, climbing back onto the track. We've also got the number 43 off in the background. That's Aaron Sterrett on the flooded circuit, just climbing back on. Don't know if he fell or if he was pushed. Now then, Ant Brown under pressure from Matt Davies, the McLaren, not happy in these conditions. Nat Shirley up and through with a good bit of breathing room. Further back, we've got Ethan Craddock back off again. He rejoins ahead of Josh Redhead, who has to take avoiding action. Ethan still trying to break later into the Schumacher S's. Just stays ahead of... No, he over-rotates the car. Josh Redhead off and round the flooded track. If it was the FIA running this, it would have been red flagged by now. Horrendous conditions to be trying to race in. Nat Shirley really enjoying them so far, though. I think by the time we get across the next split, he will be a second ahead. Let's just check as Matt Davies runs wide in the background. Have not had the confidence in the car. Matt's off again. His tyre track's off from pre-race. Matt's over the curb. Consistency and maybe not raw pace will be rewarded here. Josh Redhead drops down your timing chart on the left. So that's Matt Davies for the podium position. We've got another car off in the background. Djurovic is was up to 12th. Joe Challoner has run wide. Harrison has come past Djurovic, who loses it off the curb. McGee just coming past now on Djurovic. So McGee back up to 13th. It's Dave Rose. Dave Rose is just coming past Tom Lyons. Tom's not enjoying this in the Porsche, so that's Dave up to 5th. We've got a yellow flag. That's the 972. That's Zoltkis. There's Peter Williamson. Sam Waldridge is in the pits. How do you call this? I can't keep up with what's going on. Let's have a rundown. Shirley, Brown, Davies, Max Tad up to 4th. So keeping it clean so far, I believe. He's logged a PB and not logged any incidents, so I think I stand fair in saying that Max doing well in these flooded conditions in his BMW. Then it's Dave. Dave came from the back again. Oh, Tom Lyons is round in the background. Spins it round, tries to get out of the way. He's got some rear end damage on that car. It's been all over the place now. So that's McGee coming up. McGee was 10th. So as Tom dropped from 6th to 10th. Oh, McGee sideways off the curb. Tom's going to try and come back at him. Tom with the inside line, but he brakes earlier, just not got the confidence at the moment. Joe Challoner skids. Wait for the next sequence of turns now. See what confidence they've got through this right-hander. This flooded circuit not helping them, and they've just got to turn in. There's the rotation from Tom. Yeah, and as we suspected, down to 10th. Looks like Jurovic has been caught up in some skirmishes this lap. Peter Williamson as well. Oh, off the road goes Josh Redhead. The front end of that Mercedes, not as it left the factory. The bonnet's up. And if it handled awful in the rain, it's going to handle awfully right now. So this is a flooded circuit. Max Tad there, just getting past Matt Davies. We go back. He'd like, oh, little touch, little flick of oversteer, but it's okay. Just a little tap. Yeah, looks like Max lined up a run down the inside, and Matt running wide on the exit there wasn't able to go back at him. So Max up onto the podium positions. Ethan was at the front of a train, and now he's in the gravel. Harrison up and through, back to 7th. McGee through as well, and there comes Tom Lyons as well. Joe Challoner's got an invite to the party. He's coming through. That's massively compromised Ethan down the hill. Hopefully just gets it stopped. He does indeed. Round the bottom of the hairpin we go. Now towards the Schumacher S's. Joe's going to be wishing his car, his Lamborghini, was the 4-wheel drive variant. Could be doing him a favour in this weather. So Tom Lyons for 10th at the moment. Matt Davies potentially looking to come back at Max Tad. He wants his podium place back. Max sideways off the curb. Matt runs slightly wide, carries more speed into the braking zone, but they concertina up. First curb, second curb, much more aggressive for Matt. Slides it on exit. You see the little tweaks of oversteer. But Max tidier on exit, just pulls a little gap into the final hairpin. Drives out onto the pit straight. We've got ourselves another yellow flag. That's the number 43. Looks like he's over-rotated. 43 is Aaron Stirrett on an out lap. Oh, and he's done the brake marker board. He's just doing a bit of a turn. There you go, track's clear. Nice to see drivers waiting to make safe rejoins. No barrelling back on the track, so nicely done there for Aaron. Matt Shirley still out front, and Brown with a bit of a gap. Max Tad not able to drop Matt Davies at the moment, although it's through this complex that he did make the move earlier on. So Max holding 3rd. Matt Davies 4th. Dave Rhodes from the back 5th. Phil Mitchell massively up the grid in 6th position, kept his nose clean. Then it's Harrison Fulton. It's Alex McGee. What's happened to Tom Lyons? Tom Lyons is now behind Joe Challoner and Ethan Craddock. He's gone off at turn 1. Just a 30-second replay there. Digging himself out the gravel just on the outside of turn 1. So Tom will be a little frustrated there. If you are watching, don't forget, hit the old thumbs up. Thumbs up, help us out. Helps more people find Slip and Grip Sim Racing. They can watch or they can race. What's not to love? The number 35 has made contact with the 77. Oh no, Max Tad recovering. Let's go back a minute. Let's find out what's happened. Apologies, we're not watching the live action, so let's watch it from out of sector 1. Through the left-hander. Max taking a lot of curb there. Max skirting around what would appear to be more of a generic wet line. Max gets the curb on the inside of the right-hander too. Now we head down to the hairpin at the bottom of the hill. Matt Davies with a good run. Please don't bin him. Please don't bin him. Matt hasn't binned him. Matt, I've got absolute faith in you if you're watching this back. Max with a flick of oversteer, heading up towards the Schumacher S's. curb on the way in, just runs the car round. Matt with nowhere to go, he was on the brakes, but the car not responding. Oh, lucky to get on the power and just get out of the way of Dave Rose, who is now promoted up. This is the end of what we saw. So Matt Davies running into a struggling Max Tad. Max there just staying ahead or getting back past Phil Mitchell, who just appeared to run a little wide into one. Harrison Fulton now looking around the outside. We've got a yellow flag again. It's the 87, so that's Ethan Craddock crawling out the gravel with what looks like Ogra. Oh, Harrison. Oh, Joe Chandler in the background. Massive oversteer. Harrison now on the outside looking towards the left-hander. Can't carry more speed around the outside. Gets the switch back. He's going to offset again into the right-hander to head down to the hairpin. He's gone for the cutback, but he's smashed the inside curb. Unsettled the car. So the theory was all there. Just the execution not quite coming off. Nat Shirley still leads the way. He's up and out of the Schumacher S's, so good pace running away at the front of the field from Ant Brown, who's only 3 seconds back. Then an 11-second gap back to Dave Rose from the back of the field, now on the podium. A recovering Matt Davies sideways out of the Schumacher S's in 4th. Max Tad back to 5th, having got back past Phil Mitchell. Harrison not able to make a move past him just yet, but on lap times you'd have to say it's going to come towards Harrison. Phil out of shape. Flick of oversteer there for him. It's then Joe Chandler, we've seen him sideways a significant amount. Tom Lyons then a fair gap back in 9th, but up on his delta, so just finding his feet. The track remains flooded. We remain at 18 degrees and we're still in a thunderstorm. So this could all come unwound for the cars ahead of Tom. Oh, we've got a slow car. It's Joe Challoner. He's faced the wrong way. He's recovering. He's gone round again and he's nearly been collected by Alex McGee, who was 10th. Ethan Craddock also dropping down the field. Joe just getting it wrong out of the chicane. Now then Josh Redhead staying ahead of Gabriel Ogra and Peter Williamson, but Peter is looking to the inside in his Hex Sim Racing McLaren. Can he get it stopped in time? Hopefully not running too deep. Yeah, certainly hits a good breaking point. Ogra runs deep. It's the BMW that's gone deep and the McLaren comes by. Under control start to finish there from Peter for that move through turn 1. Nicely done up into 12th. Harrison's got past Phil. Out the right-hander headed towards the hairpin. Just dips a wheel into the gravel down at the hairpin. Manages to get the car rotated and heads off up the hill. So Harrison now into 6th. I think he got done the cutback move. He was trying to line up the lap before, so he knew where he wanted to do it and has managed to get it done. He's now going after Max Tad. Down the back straight, let's see what the gap sits at. It was 0.45, 0.7, so Harrison moving away slightly. I wouldn't say breaking away, but certainly improving. Nat Shirley's already out of turn 1. Then Ant Brown. Big gap back to Dave Rose, but 12 seconds back doesn't matter. He's on the podium, so Dave will be happy with that so far. Matt Davies, having had those earlier issues, still up in 4th. I think so many people have had problems and coming together within this race. They'll be hoping the next one isn't a flooded circuit as well. It's then Max Tad who's off the circuit. That's Harrison through up to 5th and Phil Mitchell up to 6th. Not sure what's happened there for Max. So he's come down into T1. Don't know if he's had a change of heart or a mechanical issue. He nearly ran. He's just ran deep, but that just seemed uncharacteristic. And then he's not turned in for the next one. So Max not happy with something going on here, and he's still losing a lot of time. Still trying to circulate, but that has an air of mechanical issue. It's Alex McGee that's gone through there. So Max Tad down to 9th. 10 seconds off Delta. It'll be interesting to know what's happened to Max there. So down to 9th. Harrison now in this battle. He caught up Matt Davies, who is 6.5 seconds off. So I'm not sure what's happened there for Matt Davies and Max Tad, but it doesn't look like they've come together at all, but both massively off pace on this lap. Through the chicane we go. Harrison's just got to be careful not to follow Matt, because Matt loves a lunge over the second bit of curb. Phil Mitchell deep in the background. He's just kept it on the circuit. But here, Harrison will be hoping for a 4th. Well, be hoping for a podium, but that would be the demise of Dave. So, yeah, Harrison looking to make moves forwards now. Oh, he's late on the brakes towards the back of Matt. He was keen to brake late. He's braked too late. Phil Mitchell monsters the inside curb at turn 1. Harrison looking to move forward, goes backwards 1 place, and he's got to get past Phil Mitchell. Once again, I can just call Phil. I keep calling him Phil Mitchell. Phil up on Delta as well. So Harrison losing out through the early part of the lap. Tom Lyons hugging the inside curb. A little bit too much rotation there for him. It looks like we're too far through the wet conditions for the Porsche. It looks like the Porsche can do the damp and light rain, but as soon as we get to the flooded circuit, it looks like an absolute pig to try and get round. Max Tad back up to pace for 9th. Joe Challoner, grass tracking, in 10th. Josh with the front end damage in his Mercedes, currently running 11th. Then Peter Williamson in his McLaren. Gabriel Ogra has just dropped behind Ethan Craddock, who's made moves in the first sector. Gabriel doing a 2:24 on the last lap, whereas Ethan did a 2:14. Ethan, interestingly, hasn't logged a valid lap this race. He's done 7 laps, not 1 valid, nor has Peter Williamson, so it must be a McLaren thing. Very, very tricky conditions indeed. Jurovic in his Porsche, struggling on in the conditions. It doesn't look fun out there at all. It's then Kiss in the Audi. Track conditions increased 1 degree in the recent moments. Sam Waldridge looking to recover, currently 17th. Got caught up in those earlier scraps. Aaron Sterrett, resilient in 18th. A massive learning curve for anyone these conditions, so well done to him. Shirley just cruising round up at the front at the moment. And Brown there to keep him honest. And Brown facing the wrong way. Commentators cursed. And Brown with the fastest lap. Easy Ant. He's got 30, or he had 13 seconds behind him. Just eaten up most of that. Just got to be steady in the recovery. Now those tyres, a bit of gravel on them. That'll soon wash off, but just having to be a little careful here. There's only 1 minute left on the clock. It'll be one more lap after this, but Ant will be very careful not to throw it all away to Dave Rose there. Matt Davies back up to pace, yeah, 2 minutes 11. If you are still watching, oh, big oversteer moment from Matt. He's got a feel for the balance of the car, but it's a high risk strategy to try and stay ahead of Harrison at this stage. Joe Challoner has had an incident because he's 6.5 seconds off his delta. Peter Williamson as well.
Leaders on final lap now.
Leader on the final lap, very good. There's Phil. Tom Lyons improving on delta at the moment, so a little more comfortable. Yeah, and lost 11 seconds on that last lap. Tom Lyons across the gravel, grass, whatever you want to call it. Alex thinks it's his opportunity. He'd rather have 7th than 8th. Out the final turn they go, heading on to the final lap. I wonder if Alex can do anything heading down to turn 1. No, Josh and Joe are close together further back. We've got a group just ahead of these two. All looks to have settled down for the moment. All it takes is one slip and you're round, though. Nat Shirley, a very dominant race. 15 seconds ahead after Ant had the issue on the last lap. Dave Rose, as we've said a few times now, from the back. That's rather impressive. Matt Davies now running very deep. Running not quite as deep as Phil in the background. Phil's gone deep. But it's Harrison now looking to attack. Can he get Matt Davies for 4th on the final lap? Also got Alex McGee and Tom Lyons further back as well. Having a right old battle. Harrison hanging round that outside line. Matt hugs the inside line. They head up now towards the Schumacher S's. Harrison with a good drive, but it would be a brave dive to the inside because that gap always going to close. Harrison bides his time running the curbs. It's riskier, but will give him a better run out onto the straight. We've got another car deep at turn 1 as a yellow flag. But we will just stick with Harrison, who is all over the rear bumper of Matt Davies on the final lap. Don't blow 5th place.
The leader has finished the race.
Nat Shirley wins, so congratulations to Nat. A very, very dominant race. Race 2 in the flooded conditions that have now become wet conditions, so it has been drying out for the drivers. And Brown will come home for 2nd place, but will leave Harrison battling Matt Davies on your screen. Dave Rose for 3rd from the back of the grid. Matt Davies parks it on the final turn. They've made it out of the chicane, all right. Good drive from both out of the final turn, so it's going to be Matt Davies that holds on 4th place ahead of Harrison Fulton for 5th. It's Phil Mitchell for 6th. Alex McGee has got past Tom Lyons in the closing stages with a flash of the lights from Tom. He brings it home in 8th position. Max Tad for 9th. Take a breath. Aaron Sterrett has finished in 18th. A learning curve for him, I am sure. Joe Challoner for 10th. Josh Redhead for 11th. Peter Williamson in the other McLaren for 12th. Ethan Craddock in another McLaren for 13th. It's then Gabriel Ogra in his BMW for 14th. Zolt Kiss in the Audi heads into the chicane and into the gravel. And then around the hairpin. Sam Waldridge manages to rejoin the race for what is going to be 16th place. Celebratory rotation there. And Druovic is in the pits. So that'll take a moment to roll over. We won't speak to Nat because he's not in the chat. We won't speak to Ant because we spoke to him before. Let's have a word with Dave from the back of the grid. Manages to get a podium position.
Yeah, I managed to make it the first lap cleanly. I think that was the key, really.
The key to the early moves, and then it was just keeping
Alright,
a nice steady pace.
Watch out for slippery curves and remember to brake up.
On another flooded track this time, so hopefully I can do the same. Just keep it safe and
Listed
my way
as
through.
flooded, but not rain. It's not a thunderstorm this time, so should dry up a little quicker, maybe.
yeah, I think I'll probably get the thing cut up. Do different with it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully keep it clean and do the same again.
From 17th. Very good. Nice one, Dave. Nicely done.
Cheers.
See if you can get another podium. Very good. We'll leave Dave to get the car sorted. There he is in the Tic Tac BMW. So where are we temperature wise? We are 17 degrees, which is where the last one ended. The guys will learn from that. Nat will be keen to do the same thing again. If you are one of the racers looking at the stream within, in the middle of the race, hit thumbs up, hit like, someone else might see it on their suggested. If you are one of the racers looking at the stream, oh, I refreshed it and I could hear myself. Apologies if you heard me hearing me. So it's a flooded track, the rain lessening in 10 minutes, so should dry quicker than the last. Will the conditions come back to the Porsches? We saw them fall away when the track was flooded for most of the race. It'll come back towards wet. Can Ant Brown hold on ahead of Nat Shirley at the front of the field? I think we're going to find out. So the timer hits 0. The cars will be instructed to line up double file 2 by 2 through the chicane, through the hairpin and out onto the circuit for a third time. A little bit of lag in the background for Ogra as his ping meter goes bright red. I think we've done okay so far utilising the old helicopter, so let's do that. Let's watch Tom Lyons once more. Not sure what the grid is doing. Got a few people appearing to be on a different side of the circuit. Tom with a good launch, even if he was told to line up behind Matt. The field a little spread out. The server not coping with 3 races? I'm not sure. 35's made contact already, and we've got contact in the background. Tom Lyons hoping to make early progress is not... sorry, Tom Lyons is fine. Don't worry, Tom Lyons is okay. It's Dave Rose. There's a lot of... I think it might be Ogra. Did we have any lag? No. No, Dave Rose has driven into Williamson. Oh, and then Ogra's lagged all over the place and taken out a lot of... Yeah, so that was the start of the race, and Brown leading them away. Nat Shirley second place there. Matt Davies, Tom Lyons holding on for position. We cut back and Brown's in the gravel. Matt Davies dips a toe into the gravel. Tom Lyons into the side of him. Further back, more people all tripping over each other. Dave Rose trying to recover. I think he's 13th at the moment. He and Max Tad a little way down the field. So it's currently Nat Shirley in first, but gifted that position by Ant Brown, who fell away at the hairpin, just not able to get it quite the way round. Sideways for Nat Shirley through the kink on the back straight, heading down into the chicane. Hits the first apex, massively sideways off the second. Tom Lyons is in the dirt. It's Alex McGee now able to go around the outside of him. So out of the final turn, it's going to be McGee for the podium position. Harrison Fulton already up to 5th position. Gets good drive, but he's not going to outdrive the Porsche down the main start-finish straight as we head on to this second lap. Then Concertina up this first group. Tom Lyons heavy across the inside curve. Harrison following him there. Matt Davies looking to come back through past Ethan Craddock, who is currently 6th. It's then a gap back to Josh Redhead, who has a bit of space for himself at the moment. Sam Waldridge also with a bit of breathing room. Dave Rose has managed to get past 2 cars in the first 2 turns of this lap, because he's currently logged as 12th. I think you'll find he is running 10th once we head through the next sector. So Dave probably with a bit of front end damage. We've also got Joe Challoner coming through as well. Kiss now looking to get back past Joe Challoner. You'll see the positions update. There we go. So both Dave and Joe able to make up a couple of positions in the first part of this lap as they recover from the early starting fiasco. There's Phil and then Max Tad, who's looking to come back through as well. Aaron Sterrett has been passed by Peter Williamson. It's then Ogra, whose ping appears to have calmed down now. The car's now all settled down. Who's gone round? Oh, Phil is wide. That's going to be an opportunity for Max. That's Matt Davies who went round. Phil's all over the road. That's going to be the cutback for Matt. Surely, no, he's not able to get the nose down the inside. Yeah, Matt's had a questionable lap. Matt Davies now then in 14th. Crosses the line. That was a 2 minutes 23 when those around him are running 2:11s for reference. The 52's had an incident. It doesn't say who with. It does, but I don't know the code of who that is. So Nat Shirley, Ant Brown, Alex McGee currently on the podium. Then Tom Lyons, Harrison Fulton, Ethan Craddock, Josh Redhead, Sam Waldridge, Dave Rose for 9th, Joe Challoner for 10th. Zolt Kiss for 11th. He's got Phil Mitchell just behind, really close behind as they fall into the right-hander to head down the hill towards the hairpin. Phil in the background's got the back end out. That's given the opportunity to Max Tad to attack for 12th place. Max looks to the inside, brakes slightly later, gets the car down the inside. Kiss has run wide, that's both the Beamers through. So Kiss running wide, that's Max getting 2 positions in as many corners. Good move there from Max. Phil, of the 2 BMWs, just looks a little more sideways. Shirley and Brown doing similar laps on the last lap. We'll see how they are crossing the line. They're just heading through the chicane now. Big chunks of chicane, even for the wet conditions. The track has dried, if you can use that term, to a wet circuit rather than flooded. So the cars will be getting more and more comfortable as we progress, less splashing through puddles. A drying line as what has been a rather damp evening of Nurburgring racing. In the background that looked like Ethan arriving rather quickly just behind Harrison. The 2 McLaren drivers keeping rather similar pace at the moment. Ethan was actually 0.4 quicker than both Tom Lyons and Harrison Fulton ahead of him. Lots of PBs coming in, so the track definitely more drivable. Twelve and a half minutes left. The timer ticking away. Still some really close battles up and down the field. Been a rather entertaining evening. Not quite the 30 odd we thought we were getting on grid numbers, but still a respectable grid all the same. If you have stumbled across this video and you are just somehow watching at this moment and you'd like to race, you can certainly join the Discord and get involved. Harrison a little narrow out of the Schumacher S's. Just gave Ethan a bit of a run, but he's got the measure of his braking point, realised he wasn't alongside Harrison and just backed off in time. Tucked back in. He's definitely looking like his time will come. Harrison not really looking to attack Tom, how Ethan is coming towards him at the moment. And Brown closing in on Nat Shirley down the front. Although Nat's last lap was a 2:08, Ant's last was a 2:10. It switches. Nat does a 2:09, now Ant does a 2:08. So Ant taking the fastest lap of the race, 2:08.3. The track definitely coming back towards these guys. A number of fastest laps drop in there. Not quite for Ethan, but it was for Harrison just ahead. Number 35 across the line, that's Max Tad. He's done a PB also. Phil in 12th also with a PB. Matt Davies there just getting past Kiss. He's going to hang it the long way round. He'll be able to get on the throttle slightly earlier, carry a bit more speed. Kiss is going to keep the inside line. He's going to come towards Kiss, but yeah, just a bit far back. Lucky to not run wide. Matt a little wider, but Matt has got the job done, it would seem. Kiss really good on the throttle, not able to go around the outside. Matt's car was already there and he's had to back out because he wasn't able to move to the right hand side. So knowing when to back out of the move there, really showing for Kiss. Good move. That's Matt Davies up and through to 13th. McGee and Lyons running in 3rd and 4th at the moment, dropping back from the leaders, but these two in similar machinery certainly having a good battle. Porsche doing Porsche noises. Again, very similar lines through the right-hand kink, and then now through the chicane. A little better drive out. Alex just getting into the TC there, but yeah, Tom just carrying a bit more speed as they head across the line. Another pair of PBs, so again improving. We're now down into the 209s for a bit more into the pack. Ant Brown has closed in Nat Shirley again. Ant did a 208.6, Nat did a 209 dead. So 0.4 improvement for Ant. Give him a couple of laps, he should be there. Commentator's curse at its finest. Differing lines for Alex and Tom through this first complex. Tom looking to get a bit more on the power, but Alex a little more patient with a better drive out of the stadium section at the start of this GP circuit. Through the bank, left-hander now dropping down the hill to the right. Similar lines here, so it was just the early stages. Tom on power well, good run down the hill. They'll come through this split really rather close. It was 0.6 at the start finish line, now it's 0.3, so Tom with a really good drive down the hill. Round the hairpin we go, steering opens out, get a good run. Now it's how much curbs you take on the way into the Schumacher S's. No, they don't go anywhere near it, so the Porsche is not electing to use the curb to turn in. They shy away from the curbs on the way out. Alex a little twitchy as we come over the crest. Braking now for the 90 left. Yeah, Tom really putting on some pressure now. He'll be very, very visible now. Good run onto the back straight is required. Tom just dropping away slightly. That's given Alex a good run to hold on to this third position. Alex is actually half a second up on his delta. Tom floating through the right-hander. Down into the chicane we go once again. How much curb? Yeah, nibble of the larger curb. Big clout of the second curb, but Tom's actually more unsettled in the background, trying to stay away from the curbs. I think he had to stay off throttle a little longer. Alex with good drive out the corner. It's going to be another PB. Yeah, a 209.3, but Tom also a PB in the background, a 209.3. Alex was a 0.380 and Tom was a 0.377. So nearly identical lap times from the two Porsches, holding on or fighting over that third position. As we've got 6.5 minutes left to go. Quick update on Harrison, currently running in 5th. He did a 209.6, so dropped away from these guys by 0.3 on the last lap, but still finding good pace, and he's almost found 0.4 of a second through the first sector. It's a rather long first sector, but he really is closing in. As we came across the line, he was 1.7 seconds back, and visually you wouldn't say it was 1.7 seconds now. So let's just hold on with Harrison. He nibbled the inside curb there and it just unsettled the car. So as we head down the hill, it was 1.7, it's now 1.5, so he's had 2 tenths out the cars ahead, and if they keep being in each other's mirrors and upsetting each other, that will give Harrison all the more opportunity. Now, we've seen Ethan be the cork in the bottle. He's about a second off of Harrison's pace ahead, but that's because he's got Sam Aldridge, Dave Rose and Joe Challoner for company. They're closing in behind. Joe Challoner sideways in the background. He's 1.9 off the back of Dave Rose, but watch that come down. If these guys can't get past Ethan, who is holding good pace but just happens to be a couple of seconds slower than Dave on the last lap, yeah, Joe will be able to close right in on these guys. If you are watching now and want to get involved in the racing, well, you can ask me who to watch. You can tell me who you want to watch. But you can also join the Discord as Ethan runs out over the grass on the outside of the chicane. It's little errors like that that will just allow Sam Aldridge to close in and will give him the opportunity to attack. As I was saying, if you want to join the community, please do join the Discord. Search Slip and Grip Sim Racing. You want to just come and support some racing, come and support your mates, or you want to get involved, as Sam Aldridge misses his braking point and very nearly takes out Ethan. He was just able to turn away from that to stop it becoming an incident. Let's watch once again. So there you can just see a little better than the off-board, the spray these drivers are having to deal with. Maybe a little unsighted on his braking marker, having been closer than he was before. Just getting into the ABS, turning left, having the consciousness to do that, but as soon as you touch that rather damp outside section, you'll see the likes of Joe Challoner heading by. Ah, the trees of the underworld. So Nat Shirley heads the field, and Brown making progress in, but Nat using the curb to get the car in. Oh, a little flick of oversteer mid-corner, that won't help progress, and using a lot of curb in the background. The gap was 1.3, but I think these cars will have very different strengths. Nat in the Aston Martin and in the McLaren, the engines in very different places. Through the kink we go, heading down towards the chicane. Still 1.3, Nat's gone deep, he's across the gravel. Can he get it settled? It's a good run from Ant out the corner, but he won't close him in enough. But the pressure is on, he can definitely feel that Ant is closing in, and the timer is certainly ticking down. And as they come across the line, the gap before the chicane was 1.3, it's now 0.3. He's lost a second going across the gravel. Can Ant capitalise on the mistake of Nat Shirley? Is he rattled? Ant brakes later. Can he get it stopped? He certainly can. He parks it on the apex. Nat goes for the cutback, but this is going to give Ant the inside line. They just rub doors. Nat's left front just run into Ant as he wanted to take a sweep. Nat's looking for the inside line. Ant's got that covered, so it's going to be the long way round. He's going to look for a later apex. He's going to try and get the cutback into the right-hander out of the stadium section. There is the cutback. Can he get on power? They seem quite balanced, and we cut to it just in time. And Brown up on the penultimate lap, ahead of Nat Shirley. And running a little wide though, he's just got to settle the car down, he's just got to get used to running ahead. He's not got Nat ahead of him for a reference point. These two just switched positions. Alex McGee in third place still, Tom Lyons and Harrison Fulton keeping him company. We would then look back, but let's just stick with these guys. Ant was able to brake later for the hairpin. We know in the drier conditions Ant was quicker. He did qualify on pole in similar conditions to this. And then it was just when the track became flooded, Nat had that superior car control and was able to put the power down and make moves. There we go then, out the final turn for the penultimate time.
Leaders on final lap now.
And Brown leads on to the final lap. Can Nat Shirley do anything about him? Alex McGee then leads Tom Lyons across the line. For third and fourth, it's then Harrison Fulton fifth, Ethan Craddock in sixth, Dave Rose recovering back to seventh. We saw him having those issues earlier on. Again though, running from the back. Joe Challoner, Sam Waldridge, Max Tad is your top 10. Phil Mitchell, Josh Redhead, and then Matt Davies in 13. Zolt Kiss and Peter Williamson, who is across the chicane, for 15th. Ogra's lag has calmed down in the 21 car for 16th position. Jurovic, battered nose cone on that Porsche, for 17th. And Aaron Sterrett with a fair bit of damage to his McLaren, currently running in 18th. And Brown heads out of the hairpin. at the bottom of the hill, through the Schumacher S as we go, up the hill. Brave on the curbs, massively brave on the exit curb, just runs along there. The car not unsettled massively. Just needs a good run onto the back straight and a clean chicane. He should be on for a win. Let's see if this curse of the commentator does anything. Steady through the kink. No issue there. Into the braking zone. How much curb? Fair chunk of curb. Nat in the background bounces across the grass. Tried to carry as much speed as he could in case Ant had any issues, but no issues for Ant Brown in race 3 as he takes the win from Nat Shirley. You've then got Alex McGee and Tom Lyons for 3rd and 4th, then Harrison for 5th. Ethan Craddock has got a bit of a cluster behind him. Joe Challoner under pressure from Sam Waldridge. That's Ethan in 6th, Dave in 7th, Joe in 8th and Sam for 9th. Max Tad out the final turn for 10th. Phil Mitchell in 11th. Josh and then Matt Davies in 13th. It's then Kiss through the chicane for 14th. Peter Williamson for what I believe is 15th. Big licks of oversteer. Then what will be 16th for Ogra. 17th for Jurovic. And then 18th for Aaron Sterrett. Brilliant stuff. There we go then. So,
Green light. Show them what you got.
yeah, green light. Let's go again. More rain. No, that's enough for 1 week. Well, thank you everyone who has tuned in this evening. Some quite enjoyable racing there. Thank you, Anne. Yeah, that rather entertaining. Well done on your win there. Join us again next week when we will do more racing. I say that because I don't know which track it is. But more of the same, hopefully. Maybe not quite as damp, but a rather entertaining evening there. If ACC is not your cup of tea, do join us for some Assetto Corsa. We're still running that on Wednesdays. But thank you to everyone in the chat. Craig, safe travels. I know you're driving and can't type. Yeah, winner. Good stuff. Thank you all very much for watching. We will see you